So I'm going to say something that may be controversial. So when I came here and I'm asking and getting to understand who you are as a person, some of my friends said, I don't know this guy. I've never met him. How can he be so comfortable saying some of the things he's been saying? I said, well, I think this is probably one of the main reasons why I'm still here checking things out, because if he's recording his messages and posting them on YouTube and all that, it tells me he's confident, he knows something that perhaps I don't know. So I tell people that the longer that I hang around and get to understand what drives you and all this stuff, is getting me to a point where I would say, yes, we'll have questions, and as long as you have answers, I will be happy. Let me ask you two questions, and then I'll go back to the chat.
Just before you get to those, if you don't mind, before you get to those two questions, because on one of the webinars that we had earlier this week, which was a great webinar, by the way, you brought up this same point, and what Foster said is that a lot of people that he's inviting to the business are questioning whether or not I in fact created crowdfunding. They are questioning whether or not I in fact created the loyalty card, et cetera, et cetera. And I answered it in a couple of different ways. The first way I answered it, which is how I usually answer it, I said that I didn't really, at the time, for me, it wasn't about recognition. It was about creating something that brought huge value to people all over the world. And it's come to my realization that if I'm going to say these things, that's actually not enough to help people get over the burden of me saying that I created these things. So I actually showed some proof to Foster. So my question right now, Foster, I showed some, you didn't need it, but I showed some proof of the fact that I created these things from historical memorabilia. Do you think I should do that right now?
The answer is yes, because it's not just about me. And, you love technology. I am coming to the technology space. You love technology and you use technology to build your business. And I want you to know that people are relying on technology to check things out. And when people go online and they are not able to have things that will support some of your claims that I was privy to when I saw some stuff when I came to your home, those things are not online. And I don't think it's unreasonable for people to ask these questions. And fortunately, you've been graceful enough to embrace some of these questions without being evasive, because the world that we live in today, people have been burned so many times. And as long as you don't take this as a personal attack on you and you're able to share what you can share, there's some stuff that, because I live in Toronto, it's helpful to me because I've seen evidence and I've seen stuff in local newspapers that has been dated way back. But not everybody relies on the same newspaper that you place ads and put documents in and all that. So
let me go get.
Yes, yeah, keep doing that, and I will let people know that it's perfectly okay to keep putting your questions in the chat. This is David's platform, so I don't control. Some people wanted to have the opportunity to ask live questions, and I wish I could give you that right, but it's not my place. But I want you to understand that we are on a journey together. If you, this is what I'm going to be pleading with you. If you like the vision, that David is creating, and you want to help improve things, then ask questions that will help this course, because vision is a good thing. But when you put these two letters in front of vision, which is DI, then it changed the vision to division. And I don't believe anybody can get ahead in life with division. So I just want to plead this with you guys. if you have a question that is going to really advance what we are hoping to do, I am just a guest. And I want you to understand, I want the same thing for my family, just like what you want for your family. But let's make sure that we stay on the vision and not bring division. Thank you. Back to you, David.
All right, cool. Now I'm gonna share these things, and I'm gonna share them. They're in no, because I wasn't expecting to do this, so I'm gonna have to do a little digging. But you know, one of the first things that I said that I created was the loyalty card. So, you know, the loyalty card is a big deal. And I don't know if you guys see this here. The WOW card was the world's first loyalty card. This is part of a section that I had running in one of our Toronto newspapers. It was the most widely distributed newspaper, I believe, at the time, was the Toronto Sun. And, you know, this is from this says June 1991. You know, this was well after I'd already established the card, which was in 1985. And this is another really interesting picture. You see, back in the day, the Toronto Sun had what was called a Sunshine Girl in their newspaper. And this girl wore my WOW shirt. And when I look back at these things, it's really interesting, actually. Brings back so many memories. You know, some of my advertisements from back in the day. This was my store on Queen Street. That was one of the famous wrestlers back in the day. Kind of interesting too, because that wrestler, I can't remember his name, but he was like one of the top wrestlers at the time. I didn't realize it, but my family they are the crown jewels of wrestling. My uncles were part of the Soul Patrol in Maple Leaf Wrestling, and they wrestled all around the world. And now, so my uncle had a son. All of you know who that son is. That's Dwayne Johnson. So that's my first cousin. Now, without getting, you know, taking a whole bunch of time, but so here's a couple of our first flyers. Now, this is pretty cool. I don't know what year this flyer is from, but you know, it was pretty cool. This is a mock-up. No, actually, this was a real one. And then we had our, you know, I've got 3 different books, Your Passport to Savings. This is back in the 80s, folks. Look at this. I think this was the first one that we put together. You know, when I open it up, you see all of these different places, they give savings. And some of these places are really big. You know, Roots is in here, Toronto Sun's in here. You know, this is a big deal, folks. So if you're wondering if I created the world's first loyalty card on this planet, which turned into an industry that created $52 trillion in benefit to people, the answer is yeah, I did. And I'm going to put all these things online over the next little while. You know, I'm not going to go through all of these things. Wow, look at this. What do we got here? I got to go through these things, man, because this is so cool. Look at this. This is the mock-up for the designing of the Sun newspaper page. Like this, I got to go through this because I just recently found this box. I got to go through this. This is so cool.
Yeah.
And
So
one other thing,
David, I
Yeah.
believe these are some of the things that I saw when I came by your house, and I brought the message to my close associates, and I said, wow, okay. I saw stuff that was not shown in a presentation. And I just want to say this to our audience at this point, that this is going to take some time, because some of the things that we talk about this week, of course, one of the things that I pushed for was it's about time to get yourself a PR firm that will be able to go through some of these materials and make sure that the correct message is out there in social media, because it cannot be done by you or anybody who is here as a core member. It just will not fly. The reality is not everybody is we are going to do our part. That is from, within our inner circles with friends and family members to say, yeah, I mean, it is real. But I think because the opportunity is at a global level, it's not everybody who's going to be privileged to what you have shown us. And even if a person is not on this call today or this afternoon or tonight, and they get to watch the replay, I tell people there's nothing like a live presentation. Even if they get to see this later on, it's not going to move them the same way. But I will end by saying this. The fact that you have been out there for the past 23 years and you are still front facing, I'm proud of you, that I must say. I said to somebody, and I said, if this guy is real, the fact that this program is doable, the fact that it's $1 a day, if this is going to really help to earn poverty, I want to play my part. And that's why I'm here. I just want to be clear that I'm excited about the fact that this vision is in alignment with some of the things that I have not been able to do.
Foster, I'm going to share a couple other things. And these are so cool. As everybody knows, I've already said 1,000 times that the world's first online crowdfunding system was called 5-Star Exchange. I created it, and I started creating it in 2000, released it in 2001. And when I was going back and I was trying to find, internet records, et cetera, I couldn't find any. I didn't own 5starexchange.com because back in those days, the US government was seizing companies that used .com if they didn't like it. So I used 5starexchange.biz, which I still own today, by the way. And I didn't know how I was going to prove it because the records aren't the same as they are today. Today, everything is recorded and kept records of. So I found I don't know how, but I found a whole bunch of uncashed checks. There's a lot of uncashed checks here, by the way. And if you look at this, it says 5-Star Exchange. And if you look at the date, it says 2002. You can't make this stuff up. And if you look at this, again, it says 5-Star Exchange. Again, 2002. Brings back so many memories, man. Oh man, it's just